Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the sound system demo of the 2021 BMW 430i and its 16-speaker, 600-watt Harman Kardon audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at the infotainment system, take a look at audio inputs, audio controls, speaker locations, get out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a quick look at it. Coming in here, this is the 2-liter turbo option of the newly designed 4 Series. Pretty controversial grille aside, this is overall a good grand touring type car. We've been driving it in the beautiful Colorado mountains and around town. You can see we've gotten it decently dirty, put a lot of miles on it. If you want to see more on the 430, check the links in the description for our full review. Now, I always do this test with lossless, uncompressed WAV audio files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do these tests with the sound settings set to their factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. If the car would finish beeping, letting us know that we are in diagnostics mode. Over here, you've got both a touchscreen and a rotary control for the system, so works very nicely. Whether you're out driving or you're stopped, you can kind of control things as you wish. Over here to sound settings, at the top, you have the Logic 7 surround. That is kind of BMW and Harman Kardon's surround algorithm, if you will, so we'll toggle that on and off. As surround systems go, I actually quite like this one. It adds a good amount, well-balanced surround without sounding too artificial, but if you want pure sound, you're going to want to have that off. Next, you've got treble and bass, standard front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance, and then a whole equalizer that provides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different channels. Now, it does kind of tie in with the bass and treble over here, so if I were to turn treble all the way up and bass all the way down, you can see going to equalizer, it's sort of reflected there. But you can go through and sort of fine-tune these within the general parameters. So you kind of move that whole thing around. You can see I've got it all sorts of screwed up now. But if you screwed up too badly, you can just go back and hit reset. We'll go through and do bass and treble now at least. Audio controls in the 4 Series, you've got a volume knob down here, works pretty well, nice clicks. It does have a lot of different adjustabilities, so you got to scroll a lot to get anything noticeable. Then you've also got volume rockers right side here on the steering wheel. For track selection, you've got physical buttons right here. If you're in the audio menu, you can get back there on the screen, then let's see, I think there's a way, if you're on like the now playing screen, I don't know where that is, but if you're on there, then you can do it with the touchscreen. Then you also have either this back and forth on the wheel, or you can scroll, and then the head-up display that lets you pick from your track selection. For audio inputs here in the 4 Series, you got your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, USB-A, no USB-C, Bluetooth, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay support. That is wireless now as well, so that's really nice to see. And some streaming options such as Spotify. You can probably add a few more of those. So what does that mean you're missing? Well, you don't have a 3.5mm auxiliary input jack. You do actually have a USB Type-C. I didn't realize it was hiding in there. So you got A up here and C right here. Looks like it should do data as well. And you don't have a disc player, even though it definitely, you can tell where one would have gone there back in the ancient days. So not the end of the world here in 2021, but it would be nice to see a disc player for some of those older tracks. Speaker locations. Now this one really has me confused because BMW claims and states that this is a 16 speaker system, and I've even got Harman Kardon's website right here, even though it's not loading images for some reason. I tried it on multiple devices, no images, but you can see 16 speakers, and then this is what it lists. 7 tweeters in the dashboard front and side. So that would mean 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maybe 5, 6, 7 up there, or 5 and 6, 7. Not exactly sure. I can't see through this mesh. I've tried shining a light in there, and up there I can't quite see into it. And since this isn't loading the images, kind of just got to go off of our best guess. Then you've got 2 woofers under the seats. Those make a decent amount of bass, so that's straightforward. And then again, 700mm mid-range speakers in the dashboard, front, side, and rear. So I know for sure 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, but I don't know if it's then 6, 7 or 6, 7 or 6, 7. If I really had to guess, I'd say it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But I don't know that for sure. All right, let's get out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling. This Harman Kardon system exhibits a lot of the same characteristics as the 3 Series Harman Kardon, which makes sense. The biggest thing is there's a large amount of hollowness and harshness in the high mid-ranges, and it leaves out the high-end crisps and the low-end power. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get them. You go into media, bring up the sound settings. You surround sound, you can sort of take or leave, but you got to bring the bass up about halfway, and then go down to the equalizer. And I actually spent a long time fidgeting with all this throughout my 500 miles in this car to get it to sound proper. But it really takes a lot of tweaking, and I don't understand why the sound engineers at BMW and Harman Kardon didn't make this system more crisp and powerful right out of the gate. For those of you who don't know, the default sound settings are how the sound engineers expect the system to sound. That's how they think it sounds best. Either way, I don't know. I'll turn it up a little bit, even though the song's kind of quieted down here, and let you hear what this sounds like after I've made just some mild adjustments. I had more adjustments when I was driving it earlier. Next song, we'll actually turn the bass all the way up and see how these underseat subwoofers sound. BMW using the underseat subwoofers is it makes you feel the music a lot more than in a lot of other cars without having to create an obnoxious amount of bass or use some huge subwoofers mounted in the trunk to get that effect. It might not sound quite as good for the rear seat passengers, but 95% of the time you're trying to get good sound for the driver. So I think they sound really good. I mean, if you're really trying to rattle the windows, you're not going to get much of that. I mean, we've got essentially no mirror shakeage. A little bit in the outsides, but that's it. But when you're listening, it makes for good bass and it feels powerful. So that part's kind of cool. thoughts on the 16-speaker Harman Kardon system here in the 430i. It takes some work to get it to sound good, and it isn't quite $60,000 good even at that, but it's a pretty decent sound overall. You get the Harman Kardon characteristics, you get a good amount of crispness and power when you modify the equalizer. But if you're just popping in this car with stock settings, you're going to be disappointed. All things considered, objectively speaking, I'd be giving this about a 7 out of 10. Subjectively speaking, when you consider the price of the car and sort of being a luxury car and everything, it's about a 6.5. I mean, I do appreciate now that we've got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but yeah, maybe a 7, 6.5 to 7. That's where I'm landing on. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the 430i, check the link in the description for our review, and we'll have a highway fuel economy test when we get the car back in Michigan. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always,